Iran and Syria ink a memorandum of understanding. Iran's chief nuclear negotiator says the West has failed in efforts to put pressure on Tehran over its nuclear activities. And the Israeli regime continues its violent attacks on the Gaza Strip. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Good evening from Tehran. You're watching JNN English News. Thanks for tuning in. Iran and Syria have signed a memorandum of understanding which calls for Iranian firms and investors to make their presence felt in the Syrian trade and industry sector. The MOU sealed Thursday in Tehran by Iran's HUD Minister Mohammad Saeedikia and Syrian Minister of Economy and Commerce Amir Latfi calls for speedy approval of an agreement on Iran-Syria trade preferences. During the signing ceremony, Saeedikia said Iran is currently building a power plant and a refinery in Syria as part of a joint investment plan. He reiterated Iran plans to implement power plant and refinery projects in Syria, as well as conducting research in the country's water and sewage system. The Syrian minister in turn expressed satisfaction with the expansion of economic and political ties with Iran. Visiting U.S. Deputy Secretary of State John Negroponte sought Chinese backing Thursday for new UN sanctions against Iran. China has repeatedly opposed new measures, and Negroponte's comments in Beijing came during a visit to the Chinese capital by Iran's chief nuclear negotiator Saeed Jalili. The top Iranian official met with Chinese Foreign Minister Yang Jiechi today, where the two sides discussed boosting bilateral ties on Tehran's nuclear issue. Talking to reporters upon his arrival in Beijing, Jalili said the West had failed in efforts to put pressure on Iran over its nuclear activities. He added today global developments and Iran's logical behavior do not allow anybody to take such actions. Negroponte said he planned to raise the Iran issue at the talks with Chinese Deputy Foreign Minister Dai Binghua, along with matters concerning Taiwan, Sudan, and efforts to dismantle North Korea's nuclear program. This comes as Iran and China have stressed the importance of expanding cooperation on all fronts. At a meeting Thursday in Beijing between visiting Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister for Asia-Pacific Affairs Mehdi Safari and Chinese Assistant Foreign Minister Zhai Jun, the two sides also discussed the latest regional and international developments. Safari told his Chinese counterpart that Beijing is a close ally of Tehran and that cooperation between the two sides is currently at a desirable level. He then expressed hope Iran-China mutual ties would develop further. The Chinese official in turn voiced Beijing's determination to cement ties with Tehran, highlighting his country's transparent stance over Iran's peaceful nuclear activities. The Turkish Prime Minister is once again voicing support for Iran's peaceful nuclear activities in an address to a gathering in Spain. Recep Tayyip Erdogan said it's hard to swallow how some countries adopt an anti-Iran stance, disregarding some new countries in the region. Erdogan then said he wonders why no one confronts those regional countries that possess nuclear weaponry and yet undergo no international supervision. The Turkish premier went on to describe as amicable Tehran and Ankara mutual ties, adding the two countries' trade transactions would reach $10 billion annually in the near future. With only 2 days to Ashura, a funeral procession was held in Tehran on Thursday for 5 unknown martyrs of the 8-year Iraqi post-war against Iran in the 1980s. During the ceremony, attended by some people from different walks of life, including Iranian First Vice President Patrice Dovadi, the bodies of the 5 martyrs were carried from Belenjak area in the northern parts of the capital and laid to rest at a religious site in Shahid Beheshti University. Morning ceremonies to mark the martyrdom anniversary of Imam Hussein and 72 of his companions are coming to a culmination as Ashura approaches. Imam Hussein faithfuls across the Islamic Iran and elsewhere around the world are taking part in mourning rituals to honor the Lord of Martyrs, Imam Hussein. And moving on to Palestine, the Israeli regime's aircraft targeted a white sedan traveling in the northern Gaza Strip on Thursday, killing 2 Palestinians, including a woman. Medics said 3 other people were wounded in the strike. Meanwhile, Secretary General of the Organization of the Islamic Conference, Ekmeluddin Ihsanullah, in a statement, strongly condemned the Israeli regime's recent aggression on the Gaza Strip. Ihsanullah then urged the United Nations and other international organizations to put an immediate end to the Israeli atrocities in the Palestinian territories.
Comunican a los juzgados. En estos momentos hay decenas de reos desnudos, acostados. Hasta hace unos momentos los reos tenían retenidos a varios.
Time to check on the weather forecast. The capital Tehran is having partly cloudy skies coupled with gentle winds on Thursday, and the temperature in the capital will drop to 23 degrees Fahrenheit in the coldest hours tonight. City by City Nationwide weather report is coming up next. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our news. Goodbye and have a very good time.